In Genesis chapter 2, we see that human beings have three needs. Number one, humans need rest. In Genesis 2, we read that on the seventh day, God rested. You see, God does not require rest because He does not get tired like humans. So, rested means He chose to stop working because His creation is now complete. God had finished everything, and that is why He rested. Also, verse 3 tells us that God blessed the seventh day and made it holy. That means it's a special day. In the Ten Commandments, in Exodus chapter 20, verse 11, God required Israel to observe the Sabbath. They need to remember the fact that God had completed His work in creation and therefore they needed to rest. Friends, we too need to celebrate rest. It may not be the seventh day of the week, that is Saturday. We are not under the Old Testament law. However, we need to follow the principle that God taught Israel. You can ask yourself, do you take adequate rest? Our culture celebrates overworking today, and that is not right. Secondly, humans need relationship with God. If you read Genesis 2, we see that human beings were made using the dust of creation. This tells us that humans are not God. In fact, they are under God's authority. That means they have to live in obedience to God. And God actually requires humans to live in obedience. He put two special trees before Adam and Eve. One was the tree of life, the other tree was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Through this tree, God tested man's obedience. The warning was very clear: you will certainly die if you disobey God. In chapter 1, creation was very good because it obeyed God perfectly. But now, man must also obey God just like creation did. If he disobeys, he will find death, the opposite of life that God had so freely given. You see, the Garden of Eden is in the east, the tabernacle of Moses and the Jerusalem temple later both faced eastward. So the garden is a temple where God met with humans. God had a relationship with humans, but only by continually obeying God in His requirements can humans have a continuous relationship with God. Thirdly, humans need human company. In Genesis 2, God said, "It is not good for humans to be alone." And therefore, God wanted to seek a helper for the man so that he will not be alone. Interestingly, first a search is made among the animals, but Adam is not able to find his partner among the animals. So finally, God takes man's rib and creates a woman. She is the helper fit for Adam. You see, things, gadgets, entertainment, money, and fame cannot solve our loneliness. Only other human beings can solve our loneliness. And that is why Adam immediately takes the woman as his helper and even unites with her and wants to become one flesh. Now, we must not misunderstand the word helper as a servant and see all wives or other human beings as our servants. The Hebrew word for helper is found later in Genesis 49:25, where God helps Israel. God Himself is called a helper for Israel. And so, humans need helper, that is, another person as company. Humans need humans. In Genesis 2, Adam and Eve, both humans, experience perfect harmony, understanding, and even treat each other with respect. It says, both the husband and wife were naked but felt no shame. This tells us that good and fulfilling relationships are possible. Dear friends, today we learned that there are three needs for human beings. Number one, they need rest. Number two, they need a relationship with God. And number three, they need human company.